Hello guys, and welcome to another Red Life Studio episode. Please subscribe and give me a like, and share my videos if you're enjoying them. Also, feel free to leave me a comment below. Now let's begin with today's stories.
Update. My wife cheated for 13 years. A couple of people have been asking for an update, so I thought one was due. Summary. Things are finally improving since New Year's and wife seems to be doing the right things. But it's a few steps forward and always a few backwards too, so slow improvements. You can skip the next 4 paragraphs if you know my story, as it's a recap. We are in our mid-early 40s, have been a couple married since we were young, and have 3 kids, all older than her affair and oldest technically no longer a kid. My wife cheated on and off 2008-2021 with an ex-boyfriend she dated last century. Before we met, at the time he ghosted her because she didn't want to have sex. Met for sex about 2x a week for 6 months, late the 21st of February 2009. Ons in 2013. Met 2 to 3 times a year in 2017-2020 and full-on relationship all of 2021 until day. They probably had sex around 100 times, most in 2008-9 and 2021. He was also an LTR from 2000 to 017 and 2020, and AP and OBS have 2 kids. Last year was hell for me. She blindsided me with a divorce request during Easter 2021, still never moved out and did not want to sign divorce papers, but claimed divorce was because I was a bad husband. She had a serious medical emergency in late August, and while I was taking care of her, she saw how much I loved her and realized I was not at all a bad husband. She finally confessed her affair mid-September. I did the pick-me dance for 5 weeks, until she finally agreed to go and see when I threatened to leave. She trickle-truthed me until late November, until I finally had enough and called his ex, the OBS, who filled me in on the full story. I told my wife I knew everything, and she, to her credit, came clean that night, day 2. By mid-December she sensed I was checking out because I was getting frustrated. She never talked about it first and took no initiative in reconciliation. I was triggered a lot during Christmas and New Year's. This seems to have made her finally realize the reality of the situation and snap out of it. When she sensed I was ready to walk away from our marriage, I stopped trying. Since New Year's, she has actually been doing the right things. She has a sense of urgency and realizes she needs to step up if she wants to stay married. She has read books, gone to IC, gone with me to MC to a great counselor I found, realized she is extremely codependent and has started to attend codependency meetings. She admitted she is very depressed and is addressing that in IC and has taken responsibility for everything regarding the affair. She found me a new therapist who I have only seen once this Monday, and he specials is in trauma. I am seeing the other IC tomorrow, probably for the last time, as she was helping me with anger management. I started those sessions in April, and she specials is in anger management, and I have learned techniques for that. And now I need help with trauma and triggers. My wife is having a really hard time lately. She has stayed at home all week because she mentally crashed on Friday. She is finally talking to me openly and honestly. We have had brutal honesty, which is refreshing. The reason I was frustrated with her before I knew the affair was she closed down on me emotionally. And her codependency means she always told everyone, myself included, what she thought we wanted to hear, so I could often see how fake she was, and that frustrated me too. I never really understood codependency until now. I thought it was only spouses of alcoholics that were codependent, but it's much more than that, and she just assumed I would rage when she asked for divorce and told me about her infidelity. That partly snapped her out of the affair fog too, as my reactions when she did that were calm and understanding. In many ways I was relieved when she told me on day 1 and 2, because that explained everything. Her constant turning me down, closing me off, never talking or doing anything, and it gradually getting worse, especially from 2017 and onwards. I would say I was unhappy for the last 4 years, but I didn't really admit that to myself. I just thought it was a rough patch we would get through. If I wanted to, I could easily have rationalized an affair of my own those years, but it honestly did not cross my mind. Anyway, things are still up in the air and I don't know what to do. Some days I feel fine and we seem alright. Sex is good. We communicate pretty well and are talking honestly with each other. We joke around, have random snowball fights and stuff like that, go to the gym together and spend a lot of time together. Then other days I just want to divorce and fantasize about being single. I don't see myself dating, just having my own place and some peace and quiet. My wife is pretty emotionally broken and regularly goes back to her turtle shell. But more and more she comes out by herself. I do have to drag her out sometimes. I still love her, and while I am not sure we can be together, I still wish her all the best and I want to help her heal and be a better person. She has a lot of unresolved issues from her childhood and has never learned to talk about her emotions. We have had a lot more deep and meaningful conversations since day than we have had before day. In a lot of ways, our relationship right now is the one I have always wanted. She is there for me when I am down, validates my feelings, and I do the same for her. I am trying to point out when she is codependent, as I don't want to be married to someone who isn't true to themselves or me. She understands now we don't have to agree to everything to be a couple, and I want her to have her own hobbies and a healthy social life outside of our marriage, make new friends and live life, but of course stay loyal to me. I have learned quite a lot about myself in the last year. I am a very strong person. I am kind, good-hearted, intelligent, and was more or less emotionally stable. I am not broken by this, even though my whole world has been turned upside down, and I have realized her affair didn't really have anything to do with me. I don't really take it personally anymore, and I am most upset about the lies, sneaking around, and closing down on me. Not the sex and time spent with him still bothers me a lot though, of course. Now I just got to figure out if I want to stay in this marriage or be single. I don't see myself dating for quite a while if we get divorced. I feel I need to be sure what I want and wrap my head around this before I make a decision. I also think our kids deserve an honest effort to see if we can reconcile or not. I will not stay married for them, but I need to be able to look them in the eye in the future and tell them I did all that I could, and myself, when I look in the mirror. I know this is a long post, I just felt like writing. Now off to the couch to cuddle with her and watch a TV show and then go to bed, together. We are going out of town for one night this weekend. It was her idea and I am looking forward to it.